The struggle is real.
We're back, baby.
We're back. Episode 2. We're in the same clothes, and this is totally not like an hour and a half later, or even less than that, like an hour later. No, it's been like 20 minutes. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But yeah, so in this episode number 2 of the Sophomore Tea, we're gonna be talking about the struggle of college and smaller struggles that you might not see, struggles that are more obvious and that everyone can experience, and like kind of how to combat that. And really just how to navigate those areas. And so I think we were talking about it a little bit before, but I think a lot of kids definitely, whether it be engineering, difficult major, right, difficult class, maybe something within their lives, right? Unfortunately, they may end up failing that class, and then they have to retake that class either in like the summer or the summer or the fall.
We're doing this.
Amari, why don't you open up?
Oh yeah, I know plenty about this. I mean, I'm an engineering student. It's tough. If I was like something a little easier, then I'd be like, okay. But I'm an engineering student, and you probably are going to fail a class. I'm sorry, you're probably going to fail a class, or maybe not. Maybe you're just a star student and you won't. But it's okay, and like especially in high school, when you hear in high school failing a class, you're like, dang, I feel like it has a bigger meaning. And I'm not saying that you should fail all your classes, but it's gonna be a setback you're gonna have, and it's really about how you bounce back after that. And I'll just dive into a little bit about my classes that I failed. Okay, one misunderstanding I had was F is a fail. A lot of the things that people don't know about when you first get into college is prerequisites. Prerequisites are basically things that you need before you can take another thing. And I needed this class to take another one. And in that, you also need a specific grade. So I go in there, I actually tried in this class, and I was struggling, and ended up with a C. And me just having a C, I'm like, all right, whatever, next, I passed the class, because I'm thinking F is a fail. It isn't so that was Calc 2. I hop into Calc 3, I believe. I'm in class. This is I'm actually mad talking about this. I'm in class, right? And I get this email, and it's just like, hey, you didn't get this specific grade in this class. You need to drop this class. I'm currently in the class that I need the prereq for. You need to drop this and go and retake that. And I'm just like, what? I'm so distraught. This is the first day of class. I tap the dude next to me, who I have no idea who he is. And I'm like, yo, can you read this to me? And he reads it, and he just like, yo, you're cooked. And I'm like, okay, all right. And it was tough, and I really didn't know what to do there. And keep in mind, I think I was a sophomore when this happened. Perfect. I was a sophomore when this happened, and it was just like, I was kind of distraught. I was absolutely distraught. And I didn't really know what to do. I called my dad, and I was like, dude, I don't know what to do. Luckily, my dad's dope, and he kind of just talked me through it. And that really showed me, I was like, yo, we just kind of gotta take this L and just move forward. And I remember that day, like, I talked to my advisor. I had dropped this Calc 3. I went and got back in this Calc 2. And I promised myself, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna fail this. I'm not gonna fail this, because it was really gonna send me back if I was to fail it again. And I went in there, and I remember I started the same day. I was signing up tutors. I feel like people don't abuse that enough. Like tutors, you just hear tutors, you just think, oh, sitting in the library with like someone old, and they're just like, whatever. No, like even like my tutor, like the tutor I had, like he's still like he's a cool dude. Like if I was to see him in the street, like that's my guy. And I was there. I would say like twice a week, and we would just crack down on Calc 2, and boom, and we'd get it, and then the semester comes, and it was finals, took the test, and I passed, and it was like the most rewarding thing ever. And thinking back on that experience, like how important it is, experience those vulnerable moments, like how we talked about before. Like that moment of me failing that class, like hindsight, like it seemed like I failed a class, but like, yo, that made me such a stronger person to know that I made it through that and passed, and I'm still gonna graduate, and things happen, Life moves on, the world keeps turning, and I think it's super important to like tug through those things, because better things are upon you, man.
Yeah. So would you say when you first failed that class and you had to look back on it, were you like, at least because I feel like if you were in that kind of state, or at least a lot of students be in that state, like, oh my God, like depending on the class, it's a really hard class. I know there's a lot of kids like, I can't take this class again. Like, and some kids have gone through it 2, 3, even like 3 times, and it's just difficult. So like, what would you say to someone that's in that spot that's similar to you, right? Or it's just like, oh my gosh, like because I have to like retake this class, or I have to take, if I got it even worse at times, like you already completed a class, you got a pretty decent grade in it, like a C, right, which you think is passing, but you needed, say, for instance, a C+ to get into that other class. Like, what would you say based on your own experience to someone that's in that spot?
Like, I'd say, like, dude, you got this, man. Like, and it sucked the first time because I really tried. I really tried my first time, and I felt like I tried my best, and sometimes your best isn't good enough, and I just had to go and tug through it again, and it's gonna make you stronger. Every single time you fail, you're gonna come out and you're gonna learn something new. Even if you feel like, yo, this not even worth it anymore, like, yo, you just keep going at it, you're gonna come out 10 times stronger than you did before. It's super important that you go and really just believe in yourself, like, for real, like, that's super important.
And it's just, I feel like it's a very common issue that a lot of people run into on a regular basis.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I'm not gonna attack the university.
No, of course, no.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
No, it's just, it's really, it's one of those things where it's really frowned upon to fail, but sometimes it's just like, yo, this is
okay.
It's college, man, it's college, and it's gonna happen. Like, when people tell me they don't fail a class, I'm like, yo, you got it, man, you're going places. Mr. Perfect over here.
Okay.
It's like, as an RA, like, I have a ton of first years, and shoot, even they failed. I'm just like, I don't even blame them. I don't even like shun them. Like, yo, you should have did it. Like, nah. Like, yo, that's normal. Like, you aren't a bad person. That doesn't make you different from anyone else. Like, yo, it's okay. We gonna go back at it again, and you're gonna pass this time. And as simple as that, you know, just having that positive mindset, going through that, like, makes it 10 times easier. I feel like, for sure.
I just think, especially too, with the amount of. Because you said you went to tutoring, you went to all these different kind of resources, like your family, friends, right? Like you can kind of lean on other peers to help you through this kind of journey. And it's I know for me, like one time, I think it was when I was junior. I remember I was I got into a wrong class, and similar to you, I had to switch out, and I was taking an extra class, and that would have needed to take an extra semester because that was a necessary. Class that I needed to take in order to satisfy my major in order to graduate. And so I remember I luckily figured that out on the degree evaluation on my own. Somehow I did. And I remember I emailed my professor, luckily within the add drop period, and I was able to switch that class. But I know sometimes, and I when I graduated last winter, I graduated with a full extra semester of credits. Meaning, so I had
sounds berserk.
So I graduate. So you only need 120 to graduate, right? And of course it's dependent on the minors and majors you have. But I had 134 or something like that, right? So like 5 extra classes, 3 times 5, 15, right? Doing the quick math there. And I did take a lot of extra classes, but I think it's not to say, and I think another struggle that it is rather difficult is a lot of people just don't know what they want to do. And when they go into college, right? And it's like, I know that was like that for me. I was taking, I think I took an extra geography class, an extra finance class that I didn't need to take. And I think sometimes people can look at that and be like, oh my God, I wasted so much time. And I think if you take that step back and understand that, if you don't necessarily know what you want to do, that's okay. And I think if you can just kind of get involved and you can kind of figure out these different types of things and be of the mindset that it's okay that I don't know what I want to do. It's difficult to say at 18 or 19 or 20, 19 or 19 or 20 when you're a sophomore that like I want to be an engineer for the rest of my life. Like I want to be a nurse for the rest of my life. And yeah, people can figure that out, but it's like, I think just taking that pressure off of yourself and just giving yourself a little grace period to start to take different classes to help you figure out what you want to do, or get involved in different clubs, or get involved in different activities here, can help you figure out that path. And it's almost like you said, when if you kind of go through hardships, like failing a class or failing or making a mistake, that extra time or extra semester that you're here in order to finish up your major, your minor, can almost give you invaluable experiences that will take you places, say for instance, to a job here on campus post-graduation, or to a relationship that will help you along your career path, or people that you meet, a friendship. Like there's so much benefit, and I think it's all about the perspective that you have when you're looking at it.
Yeah, and stressing on that not knowing what to do, like that's so normal. Yeah. Like, bro, I'm a senior now. I'm not gonna say I don't know what I want to do, but it's a little foggy. Like, of course. But like, no, like I'd say like 4 months ago, I'd be like, yo, what's going on right now? What's going on? Like, I'm doing all these classes. I don't know what I'm doing. And there's a sense of like accountability for it, because like you can just not know what you're doing, but you're at least getting involved and trying to figure out. I feel like that's what really like put me on my track. When I got involved and started seeing all these things, it definitely helped me figure out what was going on. And that's one of the, when anybody asks me about college, and I always say like, yo, involvement is important. Like I feel that's a common theme. I feel that we're gonna have like throughout this entire show, like involvement.
Oh my God, it's huge. It's the biggest thing.
It's like it's top two, top three.
But you involvement doesn't just come.
Nah.
Is definitely the biggest thing. And I think if you don't take that first step, right, that's oftentimes what's gonna lead to that. And we talked about that a lot in our past episode. But I think for a lot of people, they don't, when they're having kind of motivational issues, when they're kind of having, when they're in that tough spot, it's like, what are those things that can get them, that can get that fire started, to help them develop that, and like to believe in themselves and be of the perspective like, I can do this, I can do this. And like, what would you say to, like, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but in terms of motivation, like what are some things that you think could help someone in that spot? Talking to a friend, talking to a family member, professor.
Yeah, and motivation is such a big thing, because it's even something I struggle with sometimes. That's
absolutely, everyone does.
And not even just for college, just for life in general. Just to get motivated for something isn't easy. Isn't easy at all. I feel like, shoot, even today I had no motivation to get up and start my day. You know, I feel like motivation. I feel like you got to find something that you kind of enjoy to do, or set small goals for yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, when you just
pat
like
yourself on the back after.
Yeah. Like I'm a powerlifter. You know, I like the way if I just like, hey, I want to deadlift 700, and you know, I can't. That doesn't happen overnight. That's not gonna happen overnight. You know, you set smaller goals for yourself, and then when you
like
reach,
make it to the gym today. Make it to
class
today.
I mean,
get out of your bed.
I woke up this morning. I got out of bed. Like small things like that. I feel like if you set those kind of goals for yourself, you're like, man, like. It goes a super long way.
I think also too, like absolutely, like those small steps and small kind of wins is something that you need to recognize and something that you need to do. But I think, you know, motivation is temporary, right? You can't always rely on it to get you that get you to Dean's List, get you to be on a track where you're gonna graduate. And I think, yes, motivation is good, but I think what you have to have in the back of your mind is you're trying to develop that discipline and that character that's gonna get you to be that individual that you have in your head. And so I think, yes, motivation is there. You have the cues, right? But I think you just have to be cognizant of the fact that it just very similar to me. I'm like, listen, if you have a New Year's resolution, that's completely fine. But I think a lot of times, you know, with New Year's resolution, like kind of taking that example, people think that they're just going to change overnight, right? Like if one semester you're of the predominant habit of staying in your room, right? Understand that it's going to take time to transition to getting involved, right? You're not just going to be this super mega involved person, right? Like it takes time, and if you do get super involved, right, it's going to have an effect on you, right? And of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't get involved, but it's just like you said, it's important to take baby steps and give yourself those small wins to help you slowly transition into that person that you know you can become. It just takes time, and you have to just be willing to wait, be patient, and take the steps to get there.
And motivation's not gonna be there every day.
Yeah, no,
you know,
it's not.
As an athlete who has to get up and get to work every single day, like, no, motivation is not gonna be there. You're gonna be like, yo, I hate this. And college too, like, yo, I don't wanna go to class. Like, that's a big one too. Especially those 8 a.m.s, man. I was commuting when I had an 8 a.m. I was commuting.
Yeah, see, you gotta be
I was commuting I'm a robotics major. I was commuting at 8 a.m. for a history class, man. I couldn't even fathom talking about Christopher Columbus at 8 a.m. And it's really about like,
that's so good.
Oh, God, I don't know how I got an A in that class.
That's good, man. That's good.
But discipline is such a big one. You gotta you gotta sit back and know your worth and know that you're destined for greatness, man. Having that discipline, being like, hey, like I gotta get this done to be better, and that's so important. That's so important. It's definitely about the things.
And I love Viktor Frankl. He was a man who went through the Holocaust, and one of the things that he said that that human beings need is meaning, right? And then what they would do is they would set a future goal, right? And that future goal is what gave him meaning, right? And so he was an individual, and not to like shed it on a dark topic or anything like that, but just to share this story. I think it's just so valuable. He has a great book about it. Like I think it's something in relation to.
You brought sources to this thing? Was that?
Listen, dude, I got MLA format.
What's that? You citing sources from books? Serious?
It's Man's Search for Meaning. It's a great book. Highly recommend it. And so he, like when he was going through the concentration camps, one of the things that he had in the back of his mind was, he's like, one day I'm gonna get back to my family. And that's what and he was going through really, really, really hard times, right? And it's like, of course, that's an extreme example, and I don't think, any of us are gonna go through that, but it's like, if you're in that spot, like where maybe you're on probation, maybe you feel, maybe you just lost your job here on campus, right? These are legitimate things that do happen, right? I don't want this to happen to anyone, right? But like you're in that spot where you're like at rock bottom, and then you kind of have, I think if you have that mindset where like, I'm gonna change this, your desire is great enough to change. Yeah. And I think you can generate so much meaning off of that and really put yourself back on track, especially if you surround yourself in the right community, the right environment. I think it's only up from there. It's just that like that willingness, that purpose, that meaning to change, to get farther, really just takes you so far. And it's a very relatable struggle that a lot of people go through.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest thing. Just understanding that you're not alone, and if you feel like you're alone, there's resources around us, such as academic coaches, counselors, people, friends, your RAs, your resident director, teachers, professors. You name it, right? Faculty, staff here that are willing to help you. And of course, like, you just have to ask. And it's like, if we can't always be aware of those things, but there's gonna be people that are knocking on your door, hopefully helping you.
Yeah, and the beauty of college is there's so many resources, man. There's so many resources. And back to when I was struggling with that class, like I went to the tutoring. Not only that, I also went to academic coaching. Like, you have so many resources. She's the person I had I forget her name. God bless that woman. She carried me. I wish I would stick with it more now. But like, academic coaching was so great. She was like. She gave me like this like weekly planner thing, which I wish I used more. And it was just, it helped plan out my day, how to balance and like.
Gives you a framework.
Like, seriously, like when I think about my day, I just think work, gym, homework, class, sleep. That's it. Yeah. And then you go through your day and like, yo, I got so much stuff, and it's really hard to plan. And being able to like sit down and plan out your days and stuff like that. Takes the stress.
But once you do get the routine, how much easier does it become?
Oh my gosh, when you get that routine, it's like you got life on easy mode. Because it's just like,
you know what to do.
Yeah. And like, there's nothing that's gonna happen to you that you're gonna be like, oh, I mean, occasionally there's gonna be little road bumps, but you're like, hey, I gotta do this. You know, like I go to the gym today, but hey, I got this schedule to study and stuff like that, and it makes it so much easier. So make sure you're taking advantage of your resources. There's so much.
And it's there. Like, those resources are there. You just have to ask.
And not even just for like educational purposes, even just for like entertainment. You know, clubs.
Yes.
Clubs, and even for our commuters too. Like, there is something here for all you. The people who run at Club Central, they're great, they're amazing. There's tons of different clubs, man. Like, I remember I was talking to them, they said there's like over 120 plus active clubs.
It's crazy, right? We wouldn't think so, right?
And I was in one of the club meetings, and I'm telling you, there's everything. There was like a gardening club, there's a chess club.
There's a bee club?
There's a bee club. Like,
there's so many different
I'm talking about, there was like karate.
Different cultural
There was
clubs.
karate and a bunch of different martial arts that I couldn't even pronounce. Like a ton of things, and it's like, dude, there's so much to do. Car club, that's a thing, and lots of people are into car club.
Car show.
Yeah, man. I'm not into cars, but
no, like there's a spot for everyone, is what you're saying.
Yeah. There's probably a camera club too. You probably would like that too.
Sure,
the cameraman.
Yeah.
And even if there isn't a club for you, like it's so easy to start a club. And
definitely.
And Sarah from SALD, she's super dope. She does helps with that stuff. They're all great. They're there with you there the entire step of the way. Yeah. So there's something here for everyone, man.
And I think I forget exactly what the name of the program is, but I think a common thing that I've heard a lot is that, especially, residents, it's one thing, but commuters, they don't live here on campus, right? So they're not 24/7 directly here and that involved in that aspect. And I think a lot of times people just come here, take their classes, and just leave, right? And I know it's for a convenient aspect, and they don't want to be, maybe they see an event on campus, they just kind of want to just go do their own thing, right? Just not be bothered. But I think people who I think it's just important to understand that like we've been talking about this whole episode, that there's so many great things here on campus.
Yeah.
And if you're a person that is just coming to Central to take the classes, go through the activities, and just understand that you're getting one experience of college.
Yeah.
And there's a different experience, and if that's what you want, that's what you want, right? But understand that there's an amazing side here as well too. That social aspect, that transformative aspect of, whether it be getting involved in the club, being in even I think it's student governing, SGA, right? Yep, Student Governing Association, right? And that you can really make your voice change. And I heard something yesterday that most social activism comes from a college campus, right? And it just takes a few bright young minds to really come together to start something, right? So that just shows the power of it. And so I think just being understanding that there is a spot for you here. And I think it's just being aware of those things and taking that step.
Yeah. Seriously, it's college isn't meant to be like this matrix thing that you just kind of go there's so much and speaking from experience, I commuted for a year, and that year where I commuted, dude, it was so whack. Because I was one of those people who just kind of complained that there wasn't really much to do. I kind of would just come, because on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll never forget, I had 3 classes, and just the way they were spread out, it just wasn't worth going home. And I had one in the morning and then one in the middle of the day, so I kind of I would go to class, and then I would just kind of sit there and go on TikTok for 3 hours. And little did I know, I became an RA the next year. There's tons of things, not even just clubs, what's the place in the student center? Breakers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Breakers
There's so many people in there.
So fun. There's all the time. I wish I could go in there more. It's super dope. I just stay in my resident hall and I play a little ping pong, but there's ping pong tournaments, there's pool, there's video games in there. I'm talking about not even little kiddie games.
Esports too.
Yeah, there's not just Mario Party. If I want to go and play Smash Bros or something, racing or something, anything, it's there.
If you want to do some entertaining things, as a student here, you can totally go do those things, right? If you want to go play Fortnite with your homies, right, or go to meet people playing Mario Kart, or if you want to. There's a whole bunch of different classes here. They have a weightlifting class. If you're a female, right, and you want to get involved, they have ladies who lift, and they have all these different types of activities. Yeah. They have yoga. They have you name it, they have it. And also, like you said, if you want that kind of social group, I know there's a group of kids that I started college with here freshman year, and when Breakers was sort of open, and they're still hanging out there to this day, the friend group that's still there. So it just shows the community aspect that's there. It just shows the different aspects that you can get involved with, and just from a different, not just educationally, but socially as well too. And I think if you're a student here, it's just I would highly encourage it if you're not getting involved in those things.
Literally type in clubcentral.com or whatever the URL is, or just go and follow the social. They got Instagram. They're always posting. They're always active. That's what I love about them. They're always posting. Go follow the Rec, follow SALD, Can. Those are just a couple.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
Always posting stuff. The amount of times where I've just walked into the middle of campus and there was just food trucks or stands or a circus, dog shows. There's so much happening. Yeah, exactly. There's so much happening, and man, just go out and do it. Yeah. Man. Go out and do it.
So. We're coming to the end of episode 2
no.
with the struggles, right? So any last thoughts, last comments that you want to kind of to share with the people watching?
Man, just go out there and do the best you can, man. Yeah. Do the best you can, because struggle is real, man. Struggle is real.
Struggle is real. Yeah, and it's you take that first step, you get involved. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to go through all these different things. But if you have people around you, if you're going through a hard time, understand that you can develop a perspective, a mindset that can get you to that other end that you may not believe right now. And I know it's tough. I know it might be difficult, but there's always people here on campus. There's things here on campus that can get you to that other side. And as long as you put that right foot forward, you can definitely definitely make that happen. And so that has been episode 2 of the Sophomore Tea. Once again, my man, great job. And we're wrapping it up. We'll see you in episode 3.
See ya.